trapper extraordinaire, Mr. Scott Corporan. He is one of the most diligent individuals and sportsmen that we know. Welcome.
And for those who aren't aware, the Humane Society of the United States seems to be gathering their momentum. They're going to try and put an initiative on the ballot for the year 2018, which would ban mountain lion hunting, very similar to California. So what they're trying to do is what we're calling the Californication of Arizona.
Really?
Yeah, that's what it is. It's the mental ideology that exists in California that they're attempting to get put into Arizona. And quite frankly, if you look at what's going on in California, they issue each year now, because you can't hunt in California, but they're issuing depredation permits. And as of 2015, they were averaging 250 depredation permits each year, and they were killing over 100 lions because they're problem lions, which is not that much more than what we're taking now on legal hunts. So rather than costing the state money, which is what's happening in California, they're going to take away the profitability of what we're doing in Arizona just to maintain the culling of the lions that we have to do. It's silly, it's stupid, it's the Californication of Arizona, and there's absolutely no need for it. And the ideology which really strikes me is that Californians hate hunters, period, end of story.
That's okay, we hate them back.
Well, no, and if you look at it, these are the same people who are telling us that we have to consider all lifestyles and be appreciative and recognition and let everybody else live in peace. And if you have an alternate lifestyle, we have to respect that, and we have to do that, and we have to be part of it. Okay, I get that. Then why aren't hunters who have a different lifestyle being respected the same way? It is. All it is that they don't want us hunting. Well, if I respect everybody's right to live their lifestyle, what they do in their privacy of their own home.
To a point.
Yeah, well, I'm not even going to go that far. People can do what they want to do. Then let us do what we love to do. You can't take that gene that loves to hunt, which is what I have and what you have and what Scott has. You can't take that gene out of us. It's who we are. So if you want to cross-dress in California, be my guest. Then you can't tell me I can't hunt in Arizona. End of story.
Nicely played.
It's the same ideology.
Well, yeah, it's the same thing, and that's where I have to draw the line. You know, it's on the cross-dressing thing, we've got 3% of the population shoving it down 97% of the population's throat.
Hey, then there's 7% of us that hunt. Yeah. Then we're going to shove it down their throat.
Yeah, well, we need to get on the stick here and start shoving and instead of swallowing. Well, part and parcel of what's happening today is there's a new group called Plan B, Betsy Klein and some guy named Timon in Sedona. Betsy started off as a kind-hearted soul at the Arizona Humane Society, went to California, came back, and is on this quest for creating habitat for hybrid wolf dogs, big ones, and working with. Well, they just had Sedona Wolf Week, and every left wing nut in Sedona was there donating money, having wine, cheese, Birkenstocks, and slurping down Starbucks. And unfortunately, Jim DeVos at the department went up there. I haven't talked to Jim, but
he mentioned that in talking with Jim.
Well, here's the problem. At some point in time, they're going to have to take a stance instead of trying to play nice with every turd in the sandbox. Federal partners in this group and that group, they're beating us into submission, and I'm not going peaceably. Now, Plan B, aside from their wolf domestication and playing nice with the wolves, they don't. I know Betsy pretty well. She doesn't understand the proliferation of the wolf, for one thing, and the impact it has on the environment. She's looking at Yellowstone as the model
Oh, it's a model, all right.
Yeah,
it's
the
a
sky
model
is
of
bluer,
destruction.
the streams are more clear, the grass is greener, and their elk are disappearing, and now they're chewing on the buffalo and every other damn thing. And starvation, mange, and everything else that goes along with it. It's a failed model.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're starting a moratorium call on trapping, and there's already been a ban on national or public lands, and that's where Scott's coming in here. We've got a lot to talk about that.
That goes back to 1992.
Yeah, well, it just doesn't stop. And my rant this year is, we went through a very interesting presidential election cycle, and the correlation that I've made in my own mind, which is a scary place, is the Democrats comprise most of the environmentalists. Back to issues at hand, this Plan B group, here's the deal. The Democrats comprise most all, there are some exceptions, of all of the environmentalist groups.
Yes, they do.
The Center for Biological Diversity, the Sierra Club, and on and on and on. Well, it occurred to me that the Dems, support open borders. Okay, they consequently, if you do that, you automatically, by virtue of proxy, support human trafficking, drug trafficking. It's a threat to national security. These guys, we've been down there. We've looked at it firsthand, been rolling around in the dirt with the Border Patrol and Game and Fish Department in southern Arizona. The habitat's trash. There's trails and garbage and junk and people wandering around everywhere. It's not a good place. So my question is, how are they worrying about the environment when they do that? They don't care about the animals. What Plan B has done, like CBD and the rest of them, they have found a money trail.
That's it.
I got their email, and it's donate here, warm fuzzy wolf, donate here. And they've got all kinds of photographs of skins hanging ready for processing, donate here. Give it a rest. It's time to go head on against these guys.
Well, they're giving the human characteristics to wildlife, which is wrong.
Yep.
And that's the Bambi was the beginning of the end, and it never should have come out, because the animation and the giving of human characteristics has convinced a whole generation that the animals have the same emotions as we do, and it's just
that
not
was
right.
one question I had to her, is how do you ignore Bambi being torn to shreds by a wolf?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how do you turn your cheek to that? They have gone so far as to rewrite the story of Little Red Riding Hood.
Oh yeah, it's a good bad wolf.
Yeah, yeah. And my take is, Little Red Riding Hood dons her cape, walking down the path and meets the big bad wolf. What happened? She unshouldered her M4, put 308 rounds right in his chest, and game's over. She's got a nice throw rug.
I don't see that as being a bedtime story. I'm just saying.
It's reality.
I know that.
Yeah.
We know that. And they want to change it from Little Red Riding Hood to the Big Good Wolf?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rewrite that one. Good luck.
Yep. Pop, 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 pop.
Yeah. By the way, there is now up to $25,000 in reward money to find the individual out of Yellowstone who shot the she-wolf, the white she-wolf that everybody adulated. And here's the key. Yellowstone. Because wolves have become habituated to humans in Yellowstone, they're not touched. They know that. They have become the mecca for taking photographs. And so people are all outraged because somebody killed the white she-wolf. She may have wandered outside the borders, but it wasn't hunting season. Somebody plugged the white she-wolf. This is what's wrong with the society today, much like the people who like to go out and see wildlife on the Salt River. They go and they see horses. Horses are acclimated to humans. They're habituated. And so they're too lazy to go out and see true wildlife. This isn't wildlife. Yellowstone has become basically a big zoo.
Yeah.
Where they get to kill all the animals that are in there, the wolves do, but nobody can touch them because they have become the top predator. It's a big zoo without fence lines. That's all it is anymore.
I got a flash for these guys. There's only one apex predator on this planet.
It's us.
That's erectus walk around us with an M4. I'm sorry.
There was a lot of money to be made.
Yeah. What's your take on the fur market globally? Because I know everything
it's looks like it's on its way up. It looks like the demand's always there. It depends on oil prices, really. You need to get the oil up to $100 a barrel again and $4 gas, so Russia's making some money.
Thanks, Scott.
I made more money at $4 gas.
You buy that truck, Betty.
It always goes back to the Russians.
Everything goes overseas. You know what you just showed me on that. Nobody cares about the United States selling furs. Nobody cares.
Well,
it's all going to China, Russia, Greece, South Korea.
Yeah, the folks up at Plan B, I mean, you can hit the donate button. They really care.
But all the furs go overseas.
Yeah.
You know, they go over to Greece. Everybody in Europe loves our fur. Russia,
how
they love
big of
it.
an influence is Russia? I know they're big fur buyers. Is that kind of the
You'll never
catalyst?
guess who the biggest fur buyers are.
Who are they?
The end product for these ranch mink and bobcats, Saudi Arabia.
What?
Nice.
Those rich people have houses in Switzerland,
Oh, okay.
all over the place.
Yeah.
They don't mind dropping 50, 60 grand on a ranch mink coat with nice bobcat trim on it. You know,
I will say this: if you can either sleep or walk around in cold weather wearing fur or synthetic fibers, I'll take fur every day.
Absolutely.
Fur's the warmest.
Yeah, it is. No question.
I've got tanned elk hides and deer hides I've gotten, and I've had them tanned. I use them all the time for blankets.
Well, in the
You
winter,
get hot.
the winter here, I sleep under my elk blanket. You know, the one that I shot, I sleep under that.
Keeps you warm, doesn't it?
You know
These
what?
animals don't get cold.
It feels like almost. Remember, if you go into a dental office and they put that little lead thing on you when they take an X-ray,
Yeah.
if it's almost that heavy, an elk coat is when you put it on your bed. It's like a cocoon.
They put
for
that
you.
on you and you immediately break into a cold sweat.
No.
Yeah.
You do. I don't. X-rays I'm not worried about. But yeah, an elk skin is that heavy. It feels that good when you're under it. It's
And
a
this is an elk.
cocooning effect.
This is an elk like I've shot in October.
Yeah.
They're
exactly.
not all the way primed up yet.
No, the one I've had two tanned. One that was shot in March, and that was on a depredation hunt, so it was legal, folks. And
I was
then
going to say,
yeah,
March, wait a minute.
yeah, and then the other one was shot in September, and the one in March, that coat is just unbelievably heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I've shot
Thick, long hairs.
I've shot
I'd like
deer.
to take a look at that September versus I've got one that was harvested in November, late November.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got deer hides tanned that I shot in Iowa during their shotgun season in December. They're just
heavy.
as thick.
Yeah.
It's below zero when you're hunting there a lot of times. These animals are warm.
Well, Scott, we've got a couple of minutes before we got to go to break. What kind of restrictions are you fighting here on different types of trap, leg holes, box traps, public land versus state trust, etc.?
The restrictions we got for the footholds are, it's sad to say, but the antis have helped us trappers out. They've made it more humane, really, because we have to use the offset jaws, shock springs, so many swivels per foot on a chain.
A little padding on the jaws.
If you can either go with a padded jaw trap, or you got to have at least a 3/16 offset jaw, which is a 3/16 gap.
Mm-hmm.
So when the trap snaps on it anymore, it doesn't crush the arteries, it doesn't break the skin. 90% of the stuff I catch, I could let it go and they're just going to limp off and they'll be better in a day or so. I catch dogs and go back up to the rancher's house the next day, you don't even know you caught him.
Yeah.
They got just a little crease on their foot. I've let a lot of stuff out.
I snapped when I was trapping, and this was a long time ago, to show that you weren't hurt. I'd take a number 2, which would hold a fox, and snapped it on my fingers.
Yeah.
And it didn't break it.
Yeah.
It didn't hurt it. It's a lie.
Yeah. And that was the old trap that probably closed all the way.
Yeah.
The new ones, hey, I catch my hands in them every once in a while. It hurts. I don't care what anybody says. You get
Yeah,
a
but
wow.
you're not breaking it.
But I'm using big number 4 coyote traps,
Oh,
4
yeah.
coils.
Big difference.
Yeah. But people don't realize the animal is really sort of comfortable. He's not hurting. Biggest challenge to trappers is educating the public that, we're not just a bunch of animals out there beating everything in the head with a stick. Trapping is a very, very useful way to manage wildlife.
It is. It always has been.
Just for an example, I didn't trap on a ranch this year because fur prices were so low. I go up there and the ranch hands have lost 22 chickens.
Oh, yeah.
This year because the fox population's out of control up there.
The hard part for people to understand is, as you said, every day in wildlife, if you go out to the forest, there is death occurring daily.
All the time. All the time.
Look at
there
Chicago.
There has to be. And I don't know. I caught a fox a couple years ago, and I got to it, and it was all covered up. A bobcat had come up and killed it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, just next trap, I had the bobcat. But
Nice.
if you'd have seen the way that bobcat killed that fox, what suffering that fox had to go through.
Really?
I mean, he just shredded his whole back and then tore out his throat and his heart. But, I mean, that fox suffered more than I would ever put it through. I just could not believe the damage to that fox. And I've seen the same thing. I've lost quite a few animals to other predators. Coyotes the same way.
If you ever watch how a pack of wolves takes down an animal,
Absolutely.
it is
brutal.
a long process, and that animal is petrified for extended periods of time.
I have seen,
and then they start eating from the back end up.
I have seen coyotes take a jackrabbit, and that lasts a long time.
Sure,
it's
the
like a game
jackrabbit
to 'em.
screaming. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
but it's
flip
like a
it.
game. Want to get ahead, and they just keep. They run the thing down through exhaustion.
Yeah.
That's the way nature is. I
Yeah,
got to accept
thank you.
it. But
It's part of
anybody
the
that
cycle.
says what I do is cruel, you need to go out and watch nature. In reality, a deer.
Well, that's
a
part of
lion
the
taking a
problem.
deer.
You look at Sedona as a whole, and I can pick on them. Flagstaff's my hometown. We had a place in Sedona for more than 25 years, and finally gave it up just because of the nut jobs up there. And
The vortex.
excuse me.
The vortex in Sedona.
The vortex, absolutely.
Yeah, the
been
big
to the
orb up
vortex.
there,
I don't
yeah.
know where I went when I got back. I was at 7-Eleven, but go figure. Yeah, there's just there's a lot of money up there, and it's Democrat, left wing, progressive knuckleheads as far as I'm concerned. And
Californians who moved in.
well, yeah, absolutely.
You know that?
Yeah.
It's that whole liberal philosophy that's coming in from California
Well,
because
they
the
don't
housing
have
prices
system
drove them out of
put in,
California.
Stoplights
up there. That's a whole other thing. It's
Well,
gonna
look
go
at
away.
what they had on the news the other night. I can't remember what the percent of people are that think chocolate milk comes from brown cows.
Oh, I know. That was
How uneducated
hysterical.
is the public getting? That's the problem.
Isn't that where it comes from?
Yeah.
What's
Huh?
that?
Chocolate milk?
Isn't it where it
Yeah.
comes from? Yeah.
Scott, what does the Southwest Fur Harvesters have to say about this moratorium on trapping? I know you guys have your finger on the pulse, so to speak.
Well, we're totally against it. Totally against any kind of moratorium on any kind of hunting, outdoor activity, whatever it is. It's just trapping's easy to go after because there's not a lot of us that do it, and you can make TV commercials depicting us as the worst, most evil people in the world. Animals in a trap. We're easy to go after.
Yeah.
And
JK, you made some good points about tolerating lifestyles. Could you kind of reiterate and spit that out there once more?
Yeah, I mean, genetically, all of us, chromosome makeup, whatever it is, there is a push by the left wing for all of us to accept everybody's lifestyle. And I'm in favor of that. You leave me alone, I'll leave you alone. I'm not going to try and convert you. You're not going to try and convert me. The only issue that we have, however,
Eating too many Wheaties.
is that we are being, I call it the Californication process. And what's happening is they are telling us what we can do, but they're also telling us now that we can't hunt and fish, and that it's evil and it's wrong and it's a lifestyle that's deprived or depraved. And quite frankly, they're not sharing that same philosophy that they do for any other alternative lifestyle. They're not extending it to us. And genetically, I don't care who you are. You put me out in the woods and you take a look at my brain activity, and it's a world of difference than it is down here in the valley. That is who we are. That's genetic makeup. We can't change that. We love to hunt. We don't love to kill. We love to hunt.
California's getting what they asked for. They put a moratorium on mountain lions, and now they're
That's a joke.
yeah, they're squalling about little Fluffy being snatched by the cats. They're dragging people out of the parks into the woods. So,
Well, look at it this way.
Look, they need grizzly bears over in San Francisco. Let them have it all.
Oh, yeah. I would love to see that. No, you look at it. They've outlawed hunting. You can't hunt mountain lions in California. That's the big thing. Because they're gentler, they're more humane, they're getting along with it. They're still issuing over 250 depredation permits a year. They're still killing over 100 mountain lions, except now the government's paying for it.
Yeah, shades of gray from the left.
But the big thing is, okay, if they come and get the trappers, who are they going to come after next? They're going to come after the fishermen?
Well, yeah.
No, they're going to come after the hunters first.
It's not that they try to get the stuff outlawed. They try to make it so hard to do that people give up. Are they going to go after turkey hunters where you can change the rules where you can only use a 410 shooting 9-shot?
I know. They really frown on
hard.
that at Fry's in the poultry department.
Yeah, but they make they just try to make everything so hard that people give up on it, and then they come in and take it. It's just
we've got to stay
lie.
engaged and fight the fight, and that's why the AZSOWC, the ADA, and on and on and on, all the different groups. We need to take a different stance. What happened 5 years ago? Why don't we have a war chest to fight HSUS?
Because what I will call the uninitiated, the disengaged hunters threw an absolute snit fit when they found out that there potentially would be a couple hundred tags from the whole state that might be given to a organization to use to build up a war chest. And basically what it would have been was, and I mean, maybe it wasn't handled appropriately, but what happened was the issue was defeated. We have no war chest to fight something like an initiative that comes up. And consequently, we're in big trouble. If the Humane Society is successful in putting an initiative on the ballot, I guarantee you mountain lion hunting will go away. If that happens, you can kiss goodbye in certain sections of the state, particularly 13A and 13B, the best mule deer herds that you've ever seen, the genetics up there, and there are not a lot of. There's only 35 hunting tags.
Yeah.
And then another 50 archery tags that are given each year for those two.
Well, and then
unit.
our Arizona desert bighorn sheep are more risk.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, if they get into an area where they find the sheep
The cool
munchies,
part is everybody that lives in Sedona, they're at risk.
Oh, I hope they are. I
Cats
hope the
bears
vortex
come out of-
sucks in all the
John,
mountain
I
lions.
can't tell you how many times I've been up there at the Church of the Red Rocks chasing mountain lions on foot, on horseback, and never did it on a quad because I didn't own one.
Not back then. No, they didn't have them back then. No.
Well, that's the thing. Things, groups like Plan B, they figured out a money trail. They don't give a damn about anything else except for propagating themselves.
Well, there's a lot of money to be made in that industry.
Well, there
you know
is,
that.
and that's the problem with the hunting and fishing community. We raise a lot of money, and it goes on the ground. There's hundreds of thousands of hours that goes on the ground by us. You guys are involved. They don't do anything.
Most of your hunters, trappers, fishermen don't belong to an organization, don't care to belong to an organization. They got their head in the sand, and they won't do anything until it's too late. Till all of a sudden something's taken away from them, and then they wonder why.
Yeah.